Hello and welcome back to our virtual edition of County Board Wrap Up. I'm your host, Kara O'Donnell, and I'm talking to Board Chair Libby Garvey and Board Member Katie Crystal about the actions the board took at its April meeting. Now, the board approved an assisted living facility on Lee Highway at the April meeting, but I want to talk first about the details of that project. First of all, this is the first such facility approved in Arlington in decades. Why is that, and then what changed that made it possible for the project to be approved?
Great question, Kara. So we know this is a really significant need in Arlington County as our population is aging, or as folks have family members they may wish to bring closer to them. But there's been a real undersupply of this type of facility, exactly as you noted. The reason for that is for a long time, our zoning ordinance severely restricted where these assisted living facilities could be built. So back in December of last year, we voted to allow elder care and assisted living facilities to be built in mostly anywhere areas where multifamily development is already allowed. 18 different zoning districts located near or along our major planning corridor subject to site plan approval. So this is really part of our Housing Arlington work, which is designed to foster policies, pursue the land use tools that can help the county achieve the diversity of housing needed to sustain and support our diverse population. And seniors, particularly those who need elder care or memory care, are definitely part of that diverse population.
Okay, can you explain why the facility wasn't required to provide on-site affordable housing for seniors who can't afford that market rate assisted living? And then also, what community benefits will the project provide?
Great question. So this is a facility is going to provide 80 memory care units and 95 assisted living units. None of them are committed affordable, and that is because this is relatively new use, as we were talking about in Arlington, and we haven't yet developed the tools that would allow us to require affordable assisted living. Part of that is because what's really clear for a committed affordable unit in housing is not clear in assisted living. Is a unit a bed, for example? Is it a room? Is it the medical care that accompanies it? We just don't have the policies developed yet to do that. That's been a source of great frustration, I know, to the Housing Committee of our Commission on Aging, with which I liaise, and it's been a frustration, I think, to us on the board as well. The project did make a contribution to the AHIF, $356,000, give or take, and so that will be used to realize affordable units in the county, which is really important. But in the future, the next time we see one of these projects, and I hope it'll be soon, we'd like to have the tools in place that would allow us to say that we're interested in perhaps, for example, designating a certain number of beds as auxiliary beds, which is to say that's the state grant that supports low-income seniors who need assisted living care. We haven't developed the legal tools to do that yet, but our staff is very committed to doing that as part of the Affordable Housing Master Plan update. And I know they told us at the meeting they plan to work across the next calendar year to have some proposals together for our consideration.
Okay, yeah, that was actually my next.
The park. Don't forget the park.
Yeah, exactly. A public open space. It's on the southwest corner of the site, near Lee Highway. The developer is going to landscape it with a lawn, flowering tree grove, a rain garden, and the developer is going to maintain it. And in addition to being a benefit to the community as well as to the residents, I think it also is exemplary of the biophilia that's been built into this site, really based on the principle that seniors or those who may have physical health needs benefit from access to nature as much as, or perhaps more than, everyone. So all of the units have access to the outdoors. There are going to be green elements, both sustainability green and growing things green, designed to really make sure that the environmentalism of this project supports not only the resident, but our overall environmental health.
And I'm delighted to see it's got a lot of windows so people can, see nature, but the windows are bird safe to keep the birds from flying into them. So I come from a family of bird watchers, so I was delighted to see that. That's good.
And do you think this is going to be kind of an opening the door to future? This is the first one in decades, but do you see now that with some of the talk about revising policy that we're going to see more of these proposals come forward?
I think so. I mean, clearly there's a lot of need. That this is a whole demographic that's increasing, as I know very well, being part of that demographic. Although I think it's going to be interesting to see any changes that may come about because of the pandemic. And there may, are there going to be some changes in how these buildings are constructed or thought about? We will see. But I certainly think there's going to be a lot of need here in Arlington. So I'm glad we finally, did that work with the zoning. We're going over a lot of zoning that's been around for a long, long time. That, like the FOIA and things, we got to get into the 21st century on a number of these things. It takes some time, but we're working our way through it.